Hi, my name is Megan, and this is a Naughty Mess Knitting podcast. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan, and I am a knitter based in the Pacific Northwest. I live just north of Seattle with my husband, Mike, our daughter, Theo, our dog, Winter, and my mom, Cindy. This is a knitting podcast in case you're new here, and I talk about all the things that I'm making, things I've recently finished if I have any, which I sort of do this week, acquisitions. Also have a small one this week for that. I do spin yarn, and I usually talk about that a little bit, not too much. I don't have any updates this week, and I talk about books. I'm a big book lover. I'm always reading at least 2 to 3 books. And yeah, I talk about those at the end. And then just topics for the week. This week, actually, we're going to talk a little bit about a featured designer, which I haven't really done. I've done featured yarn dyers, which has been really fun. I also have a featured yarn dyer this week. So we have 2 very fun things to talk about at the end. Let's get there. Let's get started. So, I don't have a real finished object, but let's start with what I'm wearing first. Okay. Let's go back. So you guys have seen this before in an episode. I don't have any new spotters for me, but I haven't worn this in a long time since I first finished it, I think, on a podcast episode. So this is my Brooklyn Raglan Lite, which is a pattern that came out this fall by Tori Yu, who is Tori Knits NYC on YouTube and Instagram. I love Tori's patterns. I love this Raglan. It fits super well on me. We talk about this in Knit Night a lot because I think there's there's just a lot of ways that shapes can be different and bodies can be different, and Raglans are not always really great for people who have wider shoulders but smaller bodies. We have some of the girls in our knit group are climbers, and that is a body type. They're so strong. And they've got slightly larger shoulders. I think people who do crew too. I was roommates with some rowers in college. That would be another sport where you might have just slightly larger shoulders on a small frame, or any frame, any size. But that causes issues when Raglans fit funny. They will have gapping here. That also happens sometimes on sizes when they have smaller neck circumferences and they want to increase out for any body size. When the Raglan increase line is smaller for smaller bodies, sometimes you get weird puckering, or it's a little fold thing that happens here. I think it probably happens a little bit for me, but just naturally because my bust is larger, it pulls that forward, and then I don't really have any issues. I like the way Raglans fit. I also like the way drop shoulders fit me. And I like a set-in sleeve. So for me, I haven't really found much I don't really love. I think that I find I have some issues with circular yokes that don't have any neck shaping, because I do not like when the neck touch, I don't like my neck to be touched. I like high-necked things. I love turtlenecks, but I think there's something where it feels like it's not in the right position. I don't like that. That's just something to share. I'm talking about that also because one of the gals in our knit group, she tried to make the regular, I think it was the DK weight version of this pattern. And again, she's a small frame, but she's got a little bit wider of shoulders, and she was having that weird puckering. And maybe it was just also the sizing for size 1 or 2. And so that's, something I think to look out for. Tori did also update the shaping when she released this for the regular Brooklyn Raglan. Katie, who was the one making it, she found a mistake in it. Tori was really great. She responded right away, but it still had that sort of shaping when Katie put it on. So she made a lot of the body and then ripped it out. But she was using the beautiful flock colorway, which is, I was looking in the wrong spot, which is right here. And this is an Explorer Knits and Fibers colorway, which, all this to say, I can knit something with Katie now that she's back to balls of yarn. This is one I would love to make. I don't have any plans for this, but this is like weirdly one that I would love to have done before flock this year. Why? There's no reason. I just feel like it'd be fun. I have other flock yarn obviously that I want to use, but okay, let's get back to what this is. This is a Brooklyn Raglan Lite. This is size 5, which Ravelry will tell us, which is a 50-inch bust. And you know, honestly guys, I'm gonna interrupt myself again. I feel like I shouldn't really be filming right now, but I'm going to, because I just want this to be done this week so I can edit tomorrow before we go do some stuff for the Super Bowl with friends. And Mike was gone golfing all day today, and I had baby, and she napped great actually, but I just had stuff to do. Like I made some desserts for tomorrow. And so I didn't film during her nap, and it's like 9:30 at night almost, and I'm just like tired. I'm gonna get through it. We're gonna be fine. I love hanging out with you guys, so it's fine. I was excited to talk about progress from this week. I have some stuff to share on my whips, but like, man, my just bear with my brain deadness. Okay, so this is a size 5, 50 inches. I used a 3.5 millimeter needles, which probably is the suggested. This was a test knit, so I think I would have noted it if I had to do something different. I did helical knit this, and this is made out of Dragon Horde yarn, Lore fingering in the colorway Butterbeer, and it is Lore fingering is, or Lore sock, is 85% merino and superwash merino and 15% nylon. And I've got to say, she is one of my favorite variegated dye styles. She's not the only one that does this by any means. It's a little bit Explore Knits and Fibery, but it's got the like really, really short color changes and like these darker speckles in here. And it just like, it was super consistent. I did helical knit, but like I didn't have any pulling. I don't have any like weird long things, and I think even between the sleeves and the body, like the color looks really evenly distributed. It's so cute. Okay, now we're just like looking at my chest, but here we go. Let me back up a little. This is my very favorite knit outfit to wear with this top. I am not an autumn. We all know that at this point. But if you're gonna have an autumn colored thing, you have to have your favorite outfit to wear it with. It's kind of a rule for, here, I'll show the back of this thing. This is just from Amazon. It's just like a linen overalls. I don't know. You can Google that, or you can Amazon that, but, they're like wide leg. They're super comfy. I love to wear them. What I will say though, is like, I think it's a great philosophy to have. I think Aviana's the first one that told me she like really picks out, if she doesn't have already the perfect pair of pants or the perfect thing to wear with the sweater she's making, she'll get it, because that's the thing that's going to make you like want to pull it out of your wardrobe and wear it. And it's totally true for these. Like, I don't know that I'd gravitate to this all the time to just throw on when I have all my beautiful green things, but I love these red overalls. And like, sometimes that's the look I want to wear, and I'm like, yes, that's a perfect outfit. I don't have to think about it. I know I love it every time I put it on. It's great. So, yes, this is what I'm wearing. There's a lot of rambling in there, and it is what it is. Okay, let's go on to finished object. I will talk about this really fast in the details. But I did talk about this last week. Let me just go back to the page. Sorry. Okay. So I showed this on the blocking mats last week, so it wasn't folded. You couldn't get, I think, the whole picture, and I was just like rambling about the construction. So this is my Brownstone Beanie, which is a stockinette double, triple folded brim, knit in 2 gauges. It is a pattern by Tori Knits. Oh my gosh, look. It's not even why I decided to wear this today, but, Tori Knits NYC, Tori U. This is the adult medium. It is 18.4 inches, I think is what it says. It's supposed to be 4 inches of negative ease. My head is like, depending on how dry my hair is and like how poofy it is, I have like a 23 inch head. So this is slightly more negative ease. I should have done the large. I was nervous about yarn because I only had one skein of this. This is Explore Knits and Fibers Denali sock in the colorway In My Neon Era. Look how gorgeous that pink is. It's so fun. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards, 400 grams. I absolutely love how this turned out. Okay, this iconic little peak that Tori does in her decreases, so cute. It took like 87 days to block. I really don't know why. It was like a little bit wet here. I didn't have the dehumidifier on the whole time, but it just like, I don't, when you lay a sweater out, it's also 2 layers. I had this unfolded, so I don't know why it took so long to dry, but it did. Okay, as a reminder, here's the construction bit you saw last week. It dried like this. This is a bunch of inches and then folded and knit together, and then you knit inside out. You don't purl, you do a short row, and then you do a short row back. I don't remember doing the short row back, but you must, to get back to knitting in the round. And so then your little hat has this. And I think the reason that you do this is because it creates a nice turn at the where you knit together. Okay, I'm going to put it on so we can see it. And I do have my hair kind of up, so it looks a little bit strange right now. I don't want to cover my eyebrows too much. But I'm sort of obsessed. It fits fine. I mean, it's totally comfortable. I just have like a lot of hair, and like a little extra room would be fine. It does feel kind of snug, but like not in a terrible way. But yeah, it's so cute. I love it. It's a great Valentine's hat. I don't know what I would wear it with. Maybe I'll just like wear it tomorrow. I like have cool girl feelings when I wear this, which I feel like is a good thing. Sometimes you just need to feel cool. I've never really been cool in my life, so I'll take it where I can. Okay, I love it. So this is a fully finished object now, and I am glad I could show you it worn. I haven't actually worn it yet. It looks so crisp and nice. All those days of blocking really paid off. I am going to wear it probably all the time. It's a really great actually like spring, because even though when you switch to the bigger gauge, you knit this with 3.25 and then 3.75 millimeter needles. When you switch to the bigger gauge, you're knitting double, like so with 2 strands of the fingering. And that's still like, even with Denali sock, that's like a thicker fingering or a thicker DK. It feels like it looks pretty thin still. So like it definitely feels like a spring hat. That's all I'm trying to say. Feels very spring-like. So I'm gonna be so excited to like put it on for doggy walks. It's cold here and wet and rainy a lot in the spring, so hats are a thing. People, it's very, you know, very hipster beanie. Okay. I did not finish any yarn, so I don't really have yarn to talk about. I didn't bring it down. I am on the last single of my lavender latte spin. So then I'll apply this. I'll probably finish it maybe tomorrow. I kind of have a lot, maybe Monday. I'll apply this week though, and I'll wash both of them after, and I'll let them dry, and I should be able to talk about them next week. And I should also have a theoretical, I do like usually the on the Nitty Naughty is like where I count, and then I will, you know, use it as a loose-ish estimate on length. When you wash, it does change it a little bit, but like, I mean, 10%, give or take, let's say. Okay, let's talk about least exciting whip to most exciting whip. Why not? And actually, we'll do it in cast on order. How about that? So this is my oldest whip, and I'm going to show it to you this week, even though I did not do very much. And yes, I am supposed to be working on it at knit night. And like, what did I do? I keep doing this, guys. I feel like this is the trait of a crazy person. But I ended mid-row. Why would I do that? It's knit flat. There's no reason I shouldn't have just finished a row. I was knitting on this at my desk, so that's why, because I probably ended a meeting or did something, got up, and then I just shoved it in the bag at the end of the day. All right. Here's my progress marker from 2 weeks ago, or last week. And I was supposed to bring this to knit night, and I did bring it to knit night, but I was in the middle of switching over my needles to a longer cord, and so I took one of the needles off. So I only had one needle on when I went to knit night. Luckily, I brought more projects. So I just worked on something else, which is totally fine. I just did want to make some progress on this. So I probably added like 12-ish rows. I need to do in this section right here, 50 rows. And then I do the short rows that do that little tuck away for the where the button band is. So at the very bottom, I think this is only 3 buttons. Sorry, what is this? Everybody. This is the Calm Down Cardigan by Lily Kate France, who is Lily Kate Makes on Instagram. This is a top-down saddle shoulder construction cardigan with some cute ribbing details, like a very feminine button band that is an applied double knit button band that has at the bottom a little bloop. That's what I'm talking about right now. It has very large armholes. That's like one of the trademarks of this sweater. Like I could fit my like almost my entire torso, and I'm not a small person, in this armhole. It's huge. And this is made with a woolly knit cone, 2 woolly knit cones, in the merino base, which is 100% merino. Held double, it's 257 yards for 100 grams. And it is in the color Bias. It is a non-superwash, super pretty, purpley, blacky color. I really like it. Yeah, so I have to do, I don't know if this is exactly 15 rows, but something like 35 more rows flat, which I should be able to do this week. Then to get to those short rows, and I would love to be done with the body relatively soon so I can start working on that button band, and then sleeves. And I will probably do in that order because I don't want to do the button band at the end. Because that sounds, I don't want to. I just don't want to. So even though those sleeves are gigantic and I'm going to be knitting on them for like 12 years, yeah, that's my feelings. I am making the size 4 though. Let me finish those details. And that is a 51.5 inches. This is 10 to 12 inches recommended ease. It's very oversized. I am not making that oversized. I'm a 47-inch bust, so this is like 4.5 inches. That's math. I'm using 4mm needles for the body. Yep. 3.75 for the ribbing so far. And let's see. Let's go on to, is this the next cast on? Okay. My ballerina wrap top. That is my second oldest whip. Because I only have 4 whips right now. I didn't cast anything on this week. I'll tell you why in a minute. I have made really good progress on this just because it doesn't look like that much. I mean, again, it's like probably 3 to 4 inches. Here is my beautiful little Hello Lavender. Whoa, camera. I can't see where my hand is. Let me do this again. Okay, here is my really beautiful Hello Lavender Flock 2023 stitch marker. I hope she has something special again if she comes this year, Reshma. She was really lovely. I bought a couple things from her, and I just like these squiggly sheep. They're out of control. They're so cute. Okay, this is the Ballerina Wrap Top by Alexis Tavel, who is 2 of Wands on Instagram. I don't know if she's on YouTube. It is a free pattern. It is not quite size inclusive. It is a wrap top style. So I don't know. That's like, I don't even know if this falls in like the cardigan category. It's not really a cardigan. It's a shirt. It's a top. It is a t-shirt by her pattern. I do want to make extended arms. I would love them to go like kind of just by the elbow. So like a long t-shirt, not necessarily long sleeve. If I have enough yarn, I mean, I'd love to like do a 3/4-y thing. I think that would be really cute. This is Rocky's DK, which is Explore Knits and Fibers DK base. It is 100% superwash. merino in 274 yards for 100 grams, and it is in the color Pike Place, which is from her Seattle collection. It is very orangey in this light. It is orangey in real life, but it's a little bit redder in real life. And yeah, okay, let me see. What was I going to say about this? Oh, I was going to, really quick, while I'm here, pull out my last skein of this, which I just lost the band. Whoop. Okay, here's my last skein of this. It does look so orange. I mean, again, it's 9:30 at night. I only have like a circular light here and like an above light, and they're not the best. But this is red. This is orange. You know, anyway. Orange is not a Megan color, right? Like, I probably should never wear this color, but I'm excited to have this. This is a pseudo, another one actually in my neon era also. One where everyone in my knit group got the same color yarn. We all made different things, though, in the same category. So everybody made tops with this. I am the last one who has yarn to make a top, to get the top finished. That's true. Everybody else had theirs done for Flock last year, except for Jess and Charlotte. Charlotte's is done. Oh, I think Jess maybe is still working on hers. So maybe we'll finish around the same time. Okay. Anyway, I love a friend knit. The ballerina wrap top is an interesting one. I will talk a little bit through some things that have changed. So, like I said, this is a free pattern on Alexis' blog. You can buy it from her with no ads, and it's, you know, the price of a regular pattern. It is, I am making a size XL, which is 44 inches. It's supposed to have 2 inches of negativity, so it's just a little bit more for me. I'm using 4.5 millimeter needles, which I think is one size higher than her recommended, but I was not getting engaged with this. And here's what I have to say. I read through a bunch of notes. There's a lot of projects for this wrap top. There are not so many wrap tops out there. And a lot of them are fingering weight or require a lot more yarn because they're like long sleeves. And regardless, I already bought the yarn with this pattern in mind. I like the look of it. It's very minimal, so everything has I-cord edging, and I can just change that, right? But I'm actually excited for that part. But what I did read is that some people didn't like, you know, every row I am increasing on the knit sides. And at some point, the pattern flips for you to basically increase 2 on the knit side and then 2 when you go back on the purl side. So each side gets 2 increases per, you know, back and forth instead of 1. But there were a lot of people that put that even with the I-cord edging, it looks messier because you're doing cast-ons every other row, and they are getting knit back, but like it, you know, like, I don't know. Just reading people's comments, I was like, And then some people said for these sizes, if you're making it for your bust, but your waist is even a little bit smaller, the way the wrap was too big that it was like going through the little hole. Regardless, what I decided to do as I tried it on is just keep doing the single increase on each side, probably until the end. I'll just do that. So I put it on mostly on barber cords the other day, and I tried it on before I did my split. So I got to the point in the pattern, which I can show you right here. Ooh, but I ran out of yarn. Look, I have, this is all that was left of my second skein. It went quite far, a little further than I thought it would, which is great. So I, right here, have my split, and then I stopped there last night. And I will start knitting back, and I'll tie in the middle of the row and then finish out like, I think it's like 9 or 10 rows, and that's it at the bottom here. So it's not super long. It is supposed to be cropped. It will be cropped on me. This will grow a little bit. I know that this yarn grows. It's 100% superwash. It's not a super tight gauge. Like, it's gonna grow. I would like to give myself a tiny bit extra in the back, I think. Like, that would give me, like, I'm not going to give myself a whole extra inch of ease or anything, but like, I think I just need a little bit. I'll pull it a little. I do think this will give me length though, just the way that the stitches are. So my plan is to, I think I'll end with like 30, no, almost 40 stitches less than I need. Well, less than the pattern suggests. I mean, then 40 stitches is a decent amount of stitches, like, you know, 5 inches or so, right? And I think I'll just see how I'm feeling for that. You know, it's going to wrap over. It already wraps all the way past, you know, my midline. So I think it's just like, I'll have a little less fabric and that's okay. And if I try it on at the 10 more rows and I feel like the length is pretty good, I'm going to leave it there. I am going to do the I-cord bind off on the bottom. I'm going to do the I-cord bind off all the way around, and then I'm going to do the sleeves, and I'm going to split my ball and just knit as much sleeve as I can. That's what I would like to do. I'm going to probably knit them 2 at a time, and I'm just going to try to get the longest sleeves I can, because I'm going to have quite a lot in that ball. So that's my plan. I did go a little off script here. That's okay. The other thing I did make a big adjustment for is sleeves. There was a point where you were increasing like a compound raglan and you weren't doing all the sleeve increases, but the sleeve schematic was a little bit small for an extra large. Like it was like 14 and something inches, and I don't want them, like, even if they're going to be semi-fitted sleeves, I don't want them to be too small, and that would have been too small for me. So here we are, peeps. That's all I have to say about this one. That was like a lot of rambling also, but I'm excited. It feels like I finally have a lot of this done. 10 more rows is not that many. I can get 10 rows done in the body and then just be done. I'm really excited to play with the I-cord maker. I'm hoping, yeah, I'll bring it down next week. Hopefully I'll have a lot of it done. And I will tell you all about the bind off with the thing, if it works, if it doesn't work. It'll be so fun. Okay, there's that. So next project is going to be Mike's stick season, and I really wanted to be done with it this week. I know that was the goal. His birthday was on Thursday, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So we did some fun stuff. But I just, you know, I lost at Yarn Chicken. I know, it's pretty tragic. This is also a woolly knit cone. This is the stick season sweater by Rebecca Clow, who is the Crayabea. I have something to talk about this for this pattern too, but let me get through the details. This is a size 4. It's 44.5 inches. The bust, I am making it for a man. So, I didn't really taper the waist. It actually fits him really well. He's a little bit boxier. He doesn't, I mean, his waist does taper, but he also, like, he doesn't have a booty, but, you know, like, he wants it to go past, like, to his hips, a little bit past his hips. So I didn't want it to taper too much. It was like gonna fit weird at the bottom. When we were trying it on him, like, this looks fine. He is not super tall. He has a pretty short torso, but he's got really long arms. In my yarn suggestion, or in my yarn estimation with one cone, again, this is the merino cone from Woolly Knit. So it's 257 yards per 100 grams. It's 500 grams. And you can't weigh it because there's a cardboard thing. So hopefully they gave me the whole 500 grams. But I'm just shy. Like, I really need 30 to 40 grams to finish. And so the length is okay. I have about 10 inches. And I do have a little bit of yarn left. I decided to stop, though, because it's really not very much. Like, it's a tiny bit. And I can basically get the ribbing with that, or add the 2 inches he needs, and then the 2 inches of ribbing. So I'm about 4 inches shy. So what did I do? I was really sad. I was like, do I have to order a whole other cone? Because I have a whole cone and I don't need a whole cone of this color. I do really like this color. Actually, this color would be good on me too. But I went to Ravelry I put out the, like an in search of, in Discord, in the D-Stash Discord, but nobody responded. And I did this all on like on Wednesday or Thursday. And I guess it was Thursday maybe. I reached out to, the 3 people in the United States that had a Pinot Green woolly knit cone in their stash. None of them had it in the for sale, but I just sent a Ravelry message throwing it out there to just be like, hey, I need a small amount for a sweater. If you have any left over or be willing to part with some, you know, could I pay for it? I had somebody respond. I had 2 people respond. One of them said she couldn't actually find her cone, and the other one said that she had it. She knew where it was. She weighed off 50 grams for me. She sent it out in the mail in one day, and she said that she was just paying it forward. Someone had gifted her what she needed to finish a blanket, and so she just gifted it to me. And that is so nice. I love the knitting community. Like, she didn't have to do that. I absolutely would have at least paid for shipping, but she wanted to just put some good karma out there. I have also done this to people who reached out, like actually had like really old acrylic. Somebody was like, that color's discontinued, can I have it? And I said, yep. I don't need it, but like I love that people are willing to help people out. Nobody likes to lose at Yarn Chicken, and I totally did. So that's very exciting. And this should actually, so it should get to me on Valentine's Day, which is so nice. So it should be here on the 14th. I will, I'm actually decided not to knit any more of the body because I want to see how close this color is that, you know, her cone, I think, is the same color as mine even, but, just, you know, you never know where it was stored, variations, whatever. I would like to see it. And then decide if I like need to helical knit the bottom, or like, do I want to cut this, do as much body as I need? I know this is enough to finish the cuff. I don't know. If it's really off on color, we're gonna see what we can do. But I'm hoping, and like, you know, her color, her picture looks really, really close to this, that I can just get it done. So I will wait till it gets here, and then I'm just gonna zoom through and finish both of it. This is blocked. I did block it. Oh, look how nice the sticks look, actually. They open up super great. They look much more even. That line between the body and the sticks looks a lot better too. It just looks more uniform, and yeah, really nice. So I didn't try it on him after it blocked. I actually just pulled it off the mats today. But yes, I am really excited to just get it done. So I'll make that decision when the yarn gets here, and then I will just, you know, finish it up, and I'll probably just steam block the bottom. I'll probably really wet, like spray bottle wet the bottom and then steam, so that the hem does open up and I don't get some like weird tight on hem. Okie dokie, that's my plan there. Now you know. And let's talk about that pattern really quick. So, I don't know if y'all saw this. I don't know if she posted anything on Instagram about it, but basically this pattern, Rebecca writes all of her patterns, you know, unisex. They are not, which really doesn't mean anything in terms of anything. There just isn't bust shaping, but they are made, with more female measurements. So they are, you know, like all of the schematics lean female. Even if they're boxier, you know, there's no bust shaping. There's no, you know, there's no fit and flare or anything like that for like a woman's waist, but they still do have woman-based measurements. And what this means is just like, if you look at schematics for things that are male or female, is like, the shoulder line to armpit is a different length ratio, just like as general measurements. Like shoulders are wider, hips may be narrower, you know, just like things that are not true for everybody who identifies with those genders, right? Like that's not how bodies are built. But that's just like the general schematics that are used for those. So all that to say, when Rebecca published the pattern, she has in her picture, you know, her stepdad is one of the pictures on like the Ravelry pattern pages, and she did make one for him with some minor adjustments. She did ask some testers to make it for men with some adjustments. and like to make notes of their adjustments in their Ravelry pages, she did take some of those notes and put them into the beginning of the pattern. But it was tagged in Ravelry, I guess, as unisex, but also maybe a men's pattern. I don't know like exactly where those tags are. I just didn't look. And I don't look for a ton of men's patterns, so like I don't know where that would be. But anyway, I think she got some like comments that people thought that was like not exactly true, since it doesn't really have, the schematics are not for men. You have to make adjustments for men based off of the woman's pattern, which is true. And I think that it would have been better if that was clearer on the Ravelry homepage for the pattern, not just in the beginning of the pattern. I think if you're not very comfortable with making adjustments to patterns, when you buy it, you might have been like, wait, this is not a men's pattern and I have to do some of my own math, and that's hard, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. I felt comfortable doing that. I also knew that because I was like watching her podcast, so like I kind of knew what I was getting. But because of that, I think she might have taken the men's tag away, but she also did release a more, it's like 2 full PDF pages about where to make those men's adjustments rather than just like the very short. Sorry for the angle change. Actually, midway through my whips section, I don't know, something happened and I lost a whole video. So luckily I caught that like not long after I went back upstairs to hang out with Mike and get ready for bed. I'm tired, but I'm gonna finish filming this piece because it's like all the good stuff. Okay, so I was just talking about the re-release from Rebecca. So she did release more things about the stick season. I will say I already did the adjustments for her per her very short instructions. These are just longer, similar instructions, like same places to make changes. And I like glanced through it. I didn't read it like carefully, and I was like, okay, that's like what I expected. But again, she did not like change the measurements to be men's measurements. They're still women's measurements, but here's where you could make adjustments. There you go. Let's get to my last whip. Which is right here. It is the one that you saw last week and had very little done in it. And this is my Instant Crush pullover, which is the knit along that I'm doing right now. If you'd like to join us, there's still plenty of time. We are going from, we cast on February 1st until March 31st. And please join us. It would be so fun. We just had a couple people join this week. There's like no too late. This is super casual. You do not have to finish in the timeline. I would love for everybody to knit with us. It's just fun to knit with friends. We're here for encouragement. We're here for color picking. Right now there are, you know, like we've shared some pictures in the chat. It's not super active. It's not gonna be blowing up your phone or anything. But I think like now that people might be getting into the colorwork charts, they may, we may be a little bit more active to show off. I have not posted anything great in there, and I made a lot of progress this week, so I need to send a picture in too. As a reminder, this is the Instant Crush pullover by Joji Locatelli. This is my first Joji knit, and I'm really excited. I really like it. I think the pattern is great, though it is relatively short, like the actual pattern instructions, but the charts are phenomenal and there's lots of them. It's a little bit hard because like I like that the charts correspond with the colors of her sample, that so you know like, oh, if I'm replacing this one with that one. It does make it like a little bit challenging when you're not using those shades to, like, I'm just marking next to each section so I remember which one is which color and I have them marked at the beginning, but still. Anyway, all that to say, like, the charts are great. It's just like my brain to get there. I'm like, oh wait, I'm not knitting with oranges. I am knitting all of this in a back loop Yarn Co. Surrey lace, which is 328 yards for 50 grams, and it is 26% silk, 74% baby Surrey. And it's so soft and it's so nice. I'm holding 2 strands together to get sort of, you know, like a DK weight, and it is great. I mean, I've knit with this before. It's what I made my Ashley top out of. It's the same combo as most Surreys that are out there. And I'm really enjoying it. This is giving me like 90s chalet vibes. Okay, are you ready? I'll go through the colors when I hold it up. Do you guys love it? I love it. It's so fun. Look at that. Oh, let me get this yellow out of here. Look at that. I like it. Okay, it is Frost. This dark blue is called Nordic. This yellow is called Goldenrod. And this fun speckly is called Tia Beanie. And it has like bluey, it has yellow in it. It has a tiny bit of like orangey brown. It's so cute. I'm really into it and I can't wait for it to keep growing. I am on very small needles right now. I'm like 5 rows from splitting for sleeves. So I just recently has it become a little bit annoying that it's pretty scrunched, but also I don't care. I'm not going to switch and then switch back because this is what the needle I want to use for the body. I am using 4mm needles for the body, 3mm needles for the ribbing. I'm making a size 6, which is 47¼ inches. It's supposed to have 0 ease. So that's almost 0 ease for me. I am loving it. I really do. I really enjoy it. I will say the one thing, it's not like a minus for it. Well, it's a minus for the experience, but not the pattern itself. I like the way that it's looking. There's a lot of 7, knit 7 of one color, which you have to catch floats for. And there's just a lot of floats. In particular, I don't like this top section. Like you can see the blue in here. Part of that is because it's super fluffy. I think through wear and also through washing and through playing with it a little bit, I will be able to get all the sections to look more like this, where you can't really tell that there's the blue behind as much. I did catch my floats in different places in every row. So it's not like, it shouldn't be doing that as much. Some of it is just that like the suri catches on the next needle, and like sometimes there truly is like a tiny bit of suri that is on that next stitch. Some of it is just that it's poking through. There's like, it's just poking through there. It's way less noticeable. There's 7 catch floats down here, but like there's only like 1 in a row. This has like 5 rows of that, and that's why 5 or 6. I don't love that. I just kind of like, I was like, oh, do I go back and just make all of them long floats? But then I would be afraid that it'd be like weird puckering right at the neck because they, like my floats wouldn't be long enough. It's fine. It's okay. It's my one criticism in the pattern. Like, I just wish that there was like a small line in between. Like, I get why she designed it this way because that's the peaks of the pattern. But I just, I hate that. That's all I have to say. I'll fix it in post. It's fine. So I'm almost done. And I'm just like, I'm enjoying the knit. I love color work. I love working the charts, even though, yeah, that's like you can't just not think, right? But the repeat is short in the middle. It's 8 stitches. So like it's easy to keep it going once you get into it. I am really enjoying it. So now I am in my last, the last 4 rows are I have 4 rows, 4.5 rows. I think I'm in the middle of a row right now because that's when I've realized that I stopped, that my camera did not record or did not save part of this. And it's because my battery died, and I thought that it was like fine, but apparently the whole video that I was filming when my battery died did not stay. I have an acquisition. That's on my whips though, by the way. I did not cast anything new on, and we are going to talk about that in a second because I do have a plan. So this, I'm going to pull 2 of these out. You guys know that we did a yarn swap in January, my knitting group, and it was very fun. We had a great time. Well, we have a friend who lives in Chicago. Her name is Bridget. Hi, Bridget. She is an honorary Pacific Knit West member. And she wanted to join our yarn swap, and I think maybe Sylvan sent her some stuff, and I definitely have some sock yarn I might be able to give her. She just started knitting socks, and so I've like scraps and things that I'm not going to use for anything, from socks I made or sweaters like this one. I have some of this lovely orangey yellow color. But she gave me a sweater-ish quantity of this lovely Magpie Fibers Nest worsted, which is 100% non-superwash Corriedale. It is worsted 210 yards for 100 grams. The color is called Twilight Linger. It's a very fun purpley gray brown color, and I'm going to call it that because I really think it's all of those colors. It is very neutral. It's a cool leaning neutral, even though it's like that like brownie color, because it's like an ash undertone. It looks pretty nice. I don't know what I'm gonna make. I don't have enough for a sweater. I have 5 skeins of this, so I have just over 1,000 yards. That's not enough for a sweater for me in worsted, especially if there's any texture. But I could do something like a color block or with like color work in it potentially, and have enough. I would really love, I've been like, this is an all color work sweater, but I've been like craving like a color work yoke, because I sit at my desk and like this is what people see of me. I'm like, how fun would it be if I had this like gorgeous something here across the top? I don't know what, I have no plan. But she sent that over, and it was really between Sylvan and I to take it, and Sylvan relinquished unto me until or if I decide I don't have a plan. Okay, so that is the end of that section. I'd like to talk about books first, and then have a fun second topic. So books. I finished the third Crescent City book, which is called House of Flame and Shadow. You guys, I made up names last week completely. They have all House of something, the Crescent City series. And the first one is A House of Flesh and Blood, and then A House of Sky and Breath, even though I said air or something last week. So this one is the next one. So I really enjoyed it. I was surprised. There were some good twists and turns. One thing I really like about these characters, it's like I said last week, these are like strong female characters. They're pretty awesome. They know how cool they are. And they definitely have moments of self-doubt. Like, obviously they're doing big, scary things. But what I really like, especially about Bryce, the main character in this, is that she like always has something cooking. She's got like some plan up her sleeve, and she doesn't always divulge to the audience by having an internal dialogue. It's one of my criticisms of Fourth Wing, is that main character also has, you know, does pretty cool stuff, but often has self-doubt, and it's just like a really long diatribe sometimes about like how much doubt she's having about something, and then the plan works out, or it doesn't work out, but you know what she thought was going to happen, and like I guess that's okay, but also sometimes it's just too much. Like, you're just repeating yourself. And what's one of the things I like about Sarah's characters is like they often believe in themselves pretty hard, and that's pretty cool. And so you don't know what's coming, and so the surprises are not like who done it gotcha type things. It's just like, oh, I didn't know she was planning that in the background. And like sometimes you get an inkling that something else is happening, but sometimes it's just like a total surprise, and that's fun. It happened a couple of times. It happened a couple of times in the other books too, and I liked it. I thought it was great. Okay, so that is what I read. That's the only book I finished this week. I did not read any Wheel of Time this week, but I did start a new book called Mortal Follies by Alexis Hall, and it is a book about it's like set in the 1800s, but they know magic is real. Like 1800s, like Regency England kind of, and like there's, you know, an earl's granddaughter is involved and has a curse put on her, but the narrator is Puck, and that's very fun to get like a fae perspective on mortals. Which is why it's called Mortal Follies, because it's like from their perspective, from Puck's perspective. And I'm really enjoying that. It's funny. It's like a little irreverent. It's it moves quickly. Obviously, I'm also reading it at chipmunk speed. And so, yeah, that's really all. I read like, 30 pages of Dirty 30 by Stephanie Plum because I am tired when I get in bed. Okay, I will probably push through to get that more finished this week. But what else did I tell you guys about? Oh, okay. So one of the things I wanted to do this week is ask you guys a question. So somebody asked me over Instagram if I could share some free patterns. So I shared like what I do to research patterns before I buy them. And they just asked like, hey, and everybody's budget is different. And the reason you may or may not buy patterns is different for everybody. But there are tons of free patterns on Ravelry, tons. And some of them are really great. Some of them like maybe not so much. So I'm going to pull out a few in each category to highlight. But if you have a free pattern that you really love that you've made, share with us, share with me in the comments. I'll compile that. Tell me what it was and why you liked it. And I'll look up some details. The reason I actually pulled a bunch from the categories I kind of chose, which was really more garments. So tees and tanks, pullovers, cardigans, maybe shawls. So from that category, socks, if you have them, there's tons of free socks. So I might just highlight one or two, like basic recipe socks for you guys to learn different techniques. But yeah, I'm happy to share that. I think it's a good idea. We can make a little repository in the next episode and I'll put all the links and all that stuff. But I'm making a free pattern now. I'm making that Alexis tabletop is on her blog and it's free. It is also a pattern you can pay for. I do think, as a maker, it's great to support other makers, and designers are makers, right? And they are designing these amazing patterns. And I think it's great if you can afford to pay for the patterns, to pay for them. I can afford to buy Alexis' pattern from her. The only reason I haven't, she gets paid from the ads. Let's be clear here. She's still making some money. But a real reason I haven't is because it's not a size inclusive pattern. I have written a comment or two to her before about making, can she resize some of her patterns to make them size inclusive. Until they are, it's just not something I want to spend my money on. And then there is a free version. But I get it. You can't always just be buying all the patterns. So I think there's some really great staples out there that you can use as like base formulas to use your own creativity. And also, if you're just like new to garment making, or you've never made a tank top, or you've never made a cardigan, and you don't want the risk of like, well, even like the process, etc. You're already putting yarn money into it. I get wanting a free pattern. So share with me, then I will share back. The other thing I want to highlight is actually paying for patterns. Let's just put them right next to each other. But this week is Jessie Mae's birthday, and Jessie Mae is putting a big sale on all of her Ravelry patterns. She turns 41 and she is putting her patterns at 41% off. I just said pay your designers. She's actually one of these designers. She's really popular. I know she's making money from her patterns for sure. She does put out several every year, especially she has a lot of summer patterns. So she definitely like ramps in the summer. But so if you don't know who Jessie Mae is, she's a BIPOC designer. She, I would say, specializes. She makes a lot of patterns that are shown on all body sizes and types, and she makes really beautiful, feminine and flattering things that work on both smaller people and plus size people, and I think she does it better than a lot of people. I have never made a Jessie Mae pattern, but if you just like look at her pictures and all of the projects that come out of them, and the highlighted pictures she uses from testers, she really does make beautiful designs. In my knit group, I could name like 6 patterns that have been made by people in the knit group. And they're awesome. So I just think it's great. I saw that her birthday is here. I made a comment on her birthday post. You guys should make a comment too. I did tell her I was going to share about the sale in the podcast. And I just think that it's a super, you can still pay full price. You don't have to use the coupon. But it's for her, she like, you know, if you read the post, it's a thank you, an acknowledgement that she has a great community around her. So grab a pattern if there's one that you've been looking at. Grab a few if that sale is really meaningful to you. I will say she has a sliding scale, kind of like a pay what you can, always on. It's one of the things I think is really phenomenal about her business model is that she has faith that the people, it's just like a nice outlook for society. She believes people who can afford them will pay for patterns. I think sales, you know, designers don't put things on sale if they don't want to. And no one's making her do a birthday sale. And so I will probably buy one or two of these patterns I've been eyeing on the birthday sale, but I'm going to highlight like a handful right now. So some of the ones I really like, and I'll put pictures up here of them. She has an entire dropped stitch type catalog of things. So, and she does this, there'll be like a design that has a certain feature, and then she'll make several of those, you know, and the designs are different. Usually the silhouette is a little bit different. So one of them is, so the outline tee, the outline tank, and then the outline raglan, and they all have different looks, and I think they're really cute. But she also has, which the outline, like the stitches that are dropped in the middle is like very cute, but also like, I don't know that I would want that. So I really love the open edge tee. That's a V-neck tee. I'm looking for more V-necks in my project lists also. So that's definitely one I've got my eye on. Another one is her ripple crop or ripple collection. She's got like ripple shorts. There's the ripple crop top worsted, the ripple halter. I am going to cast on next. So I'm going to buy the pattern probably tonight because I think the sale goes through most of next week. But I'm just going to buy this one because this one's on my short list, and it's right at the top now. I did not cast on a new project. I just talked about 4 whips. I don't even have a 5th one. I just got really into the ones that I'm making. Hold on, this light is doing a weird thing. Okay, so I am going to cast on the ripple crop top worsted, and I got this. We talked about this when I got this yarn in. This is Balearic Sea from the Spain collection from Explorer Knits Fibers in Carlsbad worsted, which is 100% superwash yarn, and I am going to make the ripple crop top with this. It's a really good like transition piece because it's a worsted sweater, but it's a t-shirt. It is a V-neck, so I'm not gonna get too hot in it. Also, like I said, you know, and I continue to say, our seasons are not super hot here. So, and my office is a very protected space. So like, I don't have big windows. I have a very small window that's got a laurel 6 feet from it. So it doesn't ever get warm in here. So I can wear this in the summer. And I'm really excited. So this Balearic Sea. Plus I just like cannot wait to have this color. Like I must do it instantly. Maybe I'll cast it on tomorrow. Who knows? But I am taking that yarn upstairs to wind up. So that is one. The Cozy Classic Raglan and Cozy Classic Lite are also really great patterns. They're very much the most basic of basics, right? But I do think that they're really phenomenal as like base patterns. If you want to make them short sleeve, if you want to play with different yarns together, if you want to play with a like design feature, like the raglan is very plain, but like what if you wanted to do like an eyelet raglan, or like just it's also the best, absolute best way, like this one, to play with your variegated or show off your variegated yarn. I think people get tempted because they really like their variegated yarns but they don't want to make a stockinette thing to make like a super textured or like cable-y thing, but then it gets lost and it's not doing a service to either the yarn or the pattern. I love variegateds and stockinette. I do love the detail of this broken seed stitch. I think it's really fun to see the variegated into stitch patterns that are not the same. Just give it a little bit of something extra, but it's close to some, you know, it's close to the same. I would also make a cozy classic or a cozy classic light with some of this like beautiful, you know, totally variegated crazy yarns I have here. Like this one would be a great candidate because there's a lot of fun color going on here. I don't even know how this is going to knit up, but I don't want to do anything with texture because I don't want to lose the like very funness of this yarn. Just things for you to think about. Otherwise, I love her like diaphanous sweater. I don't remember what it's called. I don't have my computer in front of me because I took it upstairs, but that's okay. She also has the sheer V-neck one. I'll put the pictures of these right and the actual pattern name under it, maybe. But those are really pretty, and those are made with mohair that is 60%, well, like to get the really sheer quality, 60% mohair and 40% silk. And those I think are like Japanese mohairs. They're much less fuzzy, right? So you get this really like sheer panel. Those are really fun and super feminine. Oh, I like the helix patterns too. That I have on my list, the helix halter, because I like that it comes as a halter version in the pattern. You can make the halter or you can add cold shoulder sleeves, and that's so fun. I love a cold shoulder top actually. I don't like having my arms out, but I'm totally fine having my shoulder cap out. And I'd love to knit one for myself. I have an idea of what I want to make, like with what yarn for that actually. Yeah, so she has great patterns, so many great patterns. If you don't know them, go check them out. But also if you just needed a reminder of some of the things in her catalog, here you go. And if you want to grab any of them for her birthday sale, I say go for it. That is my designer highlight of the week. Happy birthday, Jessie May. I hope that you have a really great 41st. That seems exciting. Also, it's kind of nice to do. I love when people do something fun for a birthday that's like otherwise boring, right? Like 41, you know, the 40 is the big milestone. And then I think no one ever celebrates until you get to 50. I think it's fun to celebrate every year. So happy birthday. And now we're going to talk about a featured dyer. Okay, so let me go through my last thing that I wanted to talk about this week, and that is a featured dyer. So actually, I'm just gonna, it's like a release, feature release. So this is a new, she's not new to me, but I have not bought any of her yarn, but I need to give her a shout out because I really love what she just dropped. I think it came out today, and I think it's gonna stay open for a week. You have to go check when you watch this on Instagram, but it is Addie from Ruby and Roses yarn, and she is doing a Taylor Swift collection. It is not the first Taylor Swift collection, it is not gonna be the last Taylor Swift collection, but I really enjoyed her inspo photos, her little inspo notebook. Her colors that she picked for this are gorgeous. So I'm gonna flash up a couple of my very favorites. I think one of my very favorite colors to come out in this release for her is Invisible String. That's one of them. I really love her Melancholia, which is sorry, I have a fluff on my lip, which is a line inspired by Lavender Haze, which is one of my favorite songs from the new album. I really love her Lover colorway is incredible. I think it's the first one that she dropped, and it's like, I don't know, it's amazing. Okay, I really love the color Bejeweled. That was, I think, the last one to release, and Out of the Woods. So, and that's not all of the colors for this, but it's almost all of them. I really love a lot of them. You know, I haven't knit with her yarn. She has swatches of everything. Knit California is a ambassador for her, or affiliate, I think. But she has like she has a really fun dye style. She uses a lot of like small speckles. Like the Lover color is like micro speckled. It's amazing. And I think, like, just looking at her swatches, I think that they would knit up a little bit like this yarn. Like there's some small layered, like variegated changes. And then there is on top of that speckling. So like it makes for a very interesting yarn. It doesn't, you know, it's not going to be uniform, but like it's more uniform because it's so random. So even like her blue meets red colorway, which in the skein looks like it might be like more stripy, the way that the swatch knits up, at least it's like very color changey. And I'm into it. I don't know if I'm gonna get any. I'm like really tempted because these colors are so saturated and half of them are jewel tones, so like they're so good for like another, you know, featuring a yarn variegated sweater. Like that would be fun for Cozy Classic Lite to just do one of those. I'm tempted. I might get like just one sweater quantity or get one or two ones, you know, single skeins and just see how they knit up and do, you know, a hat or something with them. Like another, I could do a fun variegated brownstone beanie or Brooklyn or a Manhattan Lite. Anyway, I don't know. I don't have a plan yet, but I thought it would be fun to bring those up because I love Taylor Swift. I love Taylor Swift yarn, and I also think that her dye style is pretty beautiful. Everything I've seen like Leslie make with her yarn has been gorgeous, and I'm excited to try some. So you may, you know, maybe we'll talk about that in a few weeks or several months, whenever her pre-order comes out. We shall see. It'll be a surprise to both of us. Okay, and then let's just have a little life chat. So this week was Mike's birthday. We decided to take off. Generally speaking, our house has a rule that you shouldn't have to work on your birthday. This stems from a deep-seated belief that I shouldn't have to do anything on my birthday because I have a birthday right before Christmas and I never had to go to school, even college, on my birthday because I'm that close to Christmas. So I don't want to work on my birthday as a grown-up. And you know what? I have that choice. So I don't. But when Mike and I started dating, it was something that we also just like did something together on our birthdays. That wasn't work. This year though, Mike's birthday fell on a Thursday and he said, that is lame. And I want to have a long weekend instead. And I said, that is your choice. Let's do it. So we went out to dinner, just the two of us on Thursday, which was really nice. Yes, we love our child. Yes, we love to spend time with her. No, she's not super great in restaurants right now, partly because she doesn't have a lot of practice and partly because she's like a pretty gross monster child right now. So like eating is a relatively gross venture and a lot of our floor cleanliness depends on the dog. And when the dog's not around, she still looks around and then drops the food on the ground because she wants to feed the dog for later. So we just decided to have a little bit of grown-up time, and it was my mom's gift for Mike's birthday to pay for dinner for us to go out and have time to ourselves, which was really nice. We do both get out of the house by ourselves. He golfs, I knit. I go knit at least once a week with the knit group, and sometimes we do a weekend thing or we do whatever, and that's really fun. And it's nice to have time by myself. But it's also, we don't get like we don't do tons of date nights out. We're more likely to do something in and relax. But yeah, so we went somewhere local and had brick fire pizza and it was really good. Or brick oven pizza and it was really good. And on his actual birthday, Mike wanted to, of course, do something golf related. And I offered this to him. And if you've ever been to a Topgolf, that's what we did. It's a really fun place. It's expensive, but it's, you know, it's for a fun occasion. Basically, it's like Top Tracer, which is technology that tracks your ball when you hit it. And Top Tracer has a bunch of games that you can play. So like there's Angry Birds, there's Closest to the Pin, try to hit a certain colored target, that kind of thing. Most points, etc. So we played a bunch of games. It was just the two of us and we hit for a couple of hours and I am so sore. I do not golf with him. We have a golf simulator in our house. We have a Trace. It's not a Top Tracer. It's a different brand, but we have one of these in our house. I don't hit often. I'll like hit one or two balls when he's playing. So I probably hit like 100 balls, and I'm sore. It's a workout for sure, and it's just muscles I don't use normally. But it was really, really fun to go spend time and do something that he loves to do. And I'm not terrible. That was fun to realize. We watch golf. That's what we do in our house. I feel like that's so weird. I was like, I'll never watch this sport. But actually it's kind of nice because it's a little bit slower. You get to know a lot about the players, like as the people talk about them. And obviously I'm knitting if we're watching. We'll like watch during baby nap time. Sometimes we'll have it on a little bit, like on the weekend when something's happening. Like usually they're East Coast, so it's really only on the beginning of the day. And maybe we'll have it on while we're having breakfast with the child, who then of course is watching the TV kind of, but like she doesn't, it's boring to her. She's like starts reading books. She doesn't care what's happening on the TV. But yeah, we are now golf watchers, but it's actually super fun. Yeah, you get to like learn about them and their families, and you get to see them week over week, like in a, you know, it's more casual of a sport. But these guys are super serious. Anyway, I feel like watching all that golf really improved my swing. Not probably true. But yeah, it was fun. I'm like my whole shoulder though. I need to go like lay on a heating pad. So, that's what we got up to here in the Hip household. We do have some plans to watch the Super Bowl, which really is going to be me sitting on the couch knitting in a place that's not my house, which is slightly different. I'm very grateful that A, I can knit and have conversation. And B, I can knit in a place where I don't have to like really look at my knitting much, because the place we're going, our friend's house, like she doesn't have any overhead lights. There's a couple lamps, but like it's hard for me to see. Like I'm gonna probably take something. I'm gonna probably take a couple of things, because if we get like more time where we're just sitting and I can do something like the color work, I might work on that a little bit, because it's the most fun and exciting right now. But I also could just get some of this stockinette done. Things I'm gonna work on. I could obviously have a travel project and like bring some socks or cast on a pair of socks, but I don't want to, because I'm not really traveling. I mean, this is going to someone's house and I can sit there and I don't need to like worry about space. Yeah. So that's an exciting thing. Okay, so don't forget, right below, any free patterns that you really love and why do you love them. And I'll compile some of these with people's notes to share, hopefully next week if we get some good comments, and also if I have time to do some of that research I want to do. And if you want to buy any Jessie Made patterns, I have absolutely no affiliation with her. She doesn't really need me to like be spouting the virtues of her patterns, but I'm just letting you know she's having a sale if you want to buy them. I think she has some good ones. And Addie from Ruby and Roses dropped her collection today. Taylor Swift. If you are a Taylor Swift lover, if pun intended, no. If you just love the jewel tone yarns, then I think these may be good ones to try. I cannot vouch for them. I have not used them, but just looking at the swatches, I think that I think you guys would be pleased with the style. And I haven't really done a review of the woolly knit cones, and I think I will talk about them when we've talked through the stick season next week, because it'll be done. And I do have some things I'd like to share about them and using them and functionally using them. But I'm just having a great time of it so far. It's just, I've got things to share about them. And I'll leave you in suspense with that. So if you want to tell me what else you've been working on, I'm so excited for people to like still be deeply into their winter knits. Me too. But I am looking forward to spring. Like I said last week, I could really feel when I filled out the new closet infrastructure we have in our house, is that like, I just don't have that many t-shirts that are knit by me. And I have still been tracking my knits, and I feel like it's so fun. So I'm definitely going to be like, yes, I want to wear more knit things, during the work week, even when it's warm and I want to wear a t-shirt. So there you have it, everybody. Another episode in the books, and I hope that you had fun hanging out with me. I look forward to talking to you next week. And if you want to join the knit along for Instant Crush, remember, it's not too late. The chat has not been like, it's not hundreds of messages long. You know, we're here for supporting each other and also like helping you pick colors or do other things, and you can totally cast on whenever you want. I would love if more people joined. It's been really fun getting to know some of you. You spend a lot of time with me, and I'd love to spend some time with you. Okay, have a good one. Bye.